So, money is the topic of today's discussion. There are three places in which money comes into picture as far as a business is concerned. First one is cost. Cost means the expenditure or the expense that you make. This is normally represented in red because that is something that goes out of your pocket. As an entrepreneur, it is very much essential that you have to keep it as low as possible. The second important thing is revenue. Revenue is an income that a business generate by virtue of selling products and services. As an entrepreneur, it is very much essential that you boost up this figure as large as possible in order to prosper in your business. Third something is called a pricing strategy. Uh, what is the exact pricing that we have to arrive for our product or a service? Or what is the exact price that we have to fix for our product and service so that it is sellable in the market? So these are the three important things that we have to take into consideration as far as money is concerned. What is cost or the red money? What is revenue or the green money which comes into my pocket? How am I going to fix the revenue? How am I going to fix the pricing for my product? So this is the topic of today's discussion. So for our case study, I am just adopting the same example, which is setting up a fresh juice center. Since this is a summer, I am interested in setting up a fresh juice center, and I am not endorsing that all of you should do this business, but this particular example I am taking just because it is easy to understand. So for our hypothetical case study, we are assuming that we are setting up a small fresh juice center within our college premises uh, as a case study. So first, what is the cost? What is the definition of the cost? Cost is defined as the money that we spend for setting up and running our venture. There are two things here. One is setting up of our venture. Once you set up your venture, you have to run your venture. For both the things, you need money, and the money that you spend off from your pocket in order to do these two activity is called cost. So cost is the money that you spend for setting up your business and run your venture. And that is the definition for cost. Second thing, as an entrepreneur, you have to make sure that this cost curve is kept at the minimum. Pull down to this bare minimal level as possible. Don't let this cost to increase. Do whatever it takes in order to minimize the cost. Number three, know all your cost before you start your venture, which means you should absolutely be aware of what are the various cost components that are involved in your business. Never take things for granted. There are two broad classifications of cost. One is called capex. The other name for capex is capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. Capital expenditure or capex. The other one is called operational expenditure. Operational expenditure is called OPEX. Capital expenses is called CAPEX. This is the shorthand representation of these things in business terms, CAPEX and OPEX. What is capex? The money that I spend for setting up of my business. What is the money that I require for setting up of my business is the capex. What is the money that I require for running my business is opex. Do you understand? It is very clear. Capex means if I am going to start my juice center today, what are all the expenditure that I would have made prior to starting my business? Which means what are the expenses that I make for setting up of my business will come under capital expense or capital expenditure. Once I start my business from today, what are all the expenses that I am going to make in order to run my business will come under operational expenditure or OPEX. OPEX is divided into two. One is called a fixed cost. The other one is a variable cost. Let us see all these three components in detail. First one is your capex or capital expenditure. The other name for capex is called startup cost. What is the definition for startup cost or capex? The cost that an enterprise incur before starting a business. Okay. For example, if I am going to start the juice center today, what are all the various costs that I have to incur? First one is the infrastructure. I have to prepare a small shed or you know a room like structure in order to run my business. So that acts as a infrastructural cost or the plant cost, whatever you call it as. So let us fix for an hypothetical situation that I require 50,000 rupees for that infrastructure or setting up of that shed. Second one, in order to run my fresh juice center, I always needed a freezer or a refrigerator. 10,000 rupees is meant for buying that. Third one is a mixer grinder or a blender or a juicer, which is another 10,000 rupees. For running our business, we require certain compliance requirements. We need to get license. That takes 4,000 rupees. And I also require chairs, tools, signboards, glass tumblers, and rest of the things. 6,000 rupees. In total, I incur a total capex of 80,000 rupees. This 80,000 rupees goes out of my pocket before I earn a single rupee from my juice center, which means that is the total amount of money that I spend from my pocket for starting up my business or kickstarting my business. So that is called capex or startup cost. That is the first cost. Number two is opex or operational expenditure. Operational expenditure is the cost that a company incur for running a business. I have started my juice center. What are all the expenses that I'm going to do in order to run the business? Is called OPEX or operational expenditure. As I already told you, OPEX is divided into two. One is called a fixed cost. The other one is called a variable cost. What is the difference between the two? If you are going to draw a graph between OPEX or expenditure on the y-axis and the number of units or the number of juice cups sold, N. The number of juice cups sold is on the x-axis and the OPEX or operational expense on the y-axis, if I'm going to draw a graph, the graph normally starts from this particular point. Something like this. What does it mean? Even if I don't sell, this starts from 0, x-axis. So even if I don't sell any juice cups, or if the number of cups that I sold is, if n equal to 0, then even in that case, I am having certain amount of operational expense from my pocket, which means there is a constant amount of money that I have to spend, irrespective of whether I am making a selling through my business or not. That constant amount of money that goes from my pocket month on month, irrespective of whether I am making a sales or not, is called, what is the name of that? Is called fixed cost. What is fixed cost? Fixed cost is that portion of OPEX, which an entrepreneur spend month on month, irrespective of whether he is making a sales or not. You see this constant figure? This constant figure on the y-axis tells this amount the entrepreneur has to spend month on month, even if n equal to 0. If n equal to 0 means what? Even if I don't sell any cup, then also I have to bear this money. The second component is a variable cost. This is your variable cost. This variable cost is proportional to the number of units that you are going to sell. The more the number of units that you sell, the more will be this cost. This is called a variable cost. So there are two cost components involved in the operational expense or OPEX. First one is called a fixed expense or a fixed cost. This fixed cost is independent of the number of units that you sell, which means irrespective of the number of units that you sell, you always incur this expense. The second one is called a variable cost. This expense is directly proportional to the number of units that you sell. Let us see what are those costs. For our juice center example, what is fixed cost? Fixed cost is nothing but the cost incurred on a regular basis, irrespective of the production or sales. For example, in this month, even if I don't sell a single cup of juice, I have to spend this much amount of money from my pocket. What are those expenses? The first expense of all is the salary of your employee. Assuming that I have employed one person for my juice center, I am busy in some other work, so I don't have time to manage this business. So I have employed one particular employee for this juice center. For him, I am paying 7,000 rupees per month. So that is a fixed expense. Whether you are selling any juice or not, the very first day of the next month, you have to pay this amount to your employee. So that is a fixed amount, fixed cost. Next comes the rent. The rental amount that I have to pay to our institute, where I am physically locating my business, is again a fixed cost. The college is not going to bother about whether I am making a sales or not. The next month, the very first day, I have to make this rental payment also. So is the case for electricity bill and the advertisement charges and the travel that communication charges I do. All these expenses are called fixed cost because irrespective of whether I am making a sales or not, month on month, all these expenses I have to bear from my pocket. That is why they are called fixed cost. So how much this fixed cost amounts to? 25,000 rupees for 1 month. This normally fixed cost is calculated for 1 full month. So what are the various costs that we have taken into consideration as fixed cost? Salary of the individual for 1 month, the rental payment for 1 month, the electricity charges for 1 month, the advertisement charges for 1 month, travel and communication charges for 1 month. The entire charges comes to around 25,000 rupees for us. This is for our case study. This is fixed cost. Second one is the variable cost. What is variable cost? Variable cost is nothing but what is the cost that is dependent on the number of units that you sell, which means in putting it in simple terms, variable cost is nothing but what is the cost that you incur in manufacturing one unit of the product. What is the exact cost that you spend for manufacturing one unit of your product is a variable cost. In our case, our product is a juice. For making one glass of fruit juice, how much is the money that I spend is the variable cost. Why it is called variable cost? Because that is proportional to the number of units that I'm going to make. Suppose if I make 100 glasses of juice, I end up in getting one cost. If I'm going to say make 1,000 such glasses, then that cost will vary. So because it is varying in accordance to the number of units that we manufacture, it is called as a variable cost. Now, for manufacturing or making one unit of your product, what is the cost that is involved here? Okay, it is a approximate cost. For milk, I am spending 6 rupees. For fruits, I am spending 5 rupees. Sugar, I am spending 2 rupees. And cups and tissue paper, I spend 1 rupee. Ice cubes, I spend 1 rupee. You may be wondering why in the world that I am using terms like cups and napkins, ice cubes, all these things into cost, structure. As an entrepreneur, you should never take even a single pice for granted. Even if you spend a single rupee for your product, all those things have to be taken into account for costing. Okay, don't leave even a single pice when you are doing cost estimation. And that is always desirable to add whatever the cost that you are incurring in the product cost. So it amounts to 15 rupees. What is this 15 rupees? I spend or incur 15 rupees for manufacturing one cup of juice. That is what is called variable cost. What is the amount that I incur in manufacturing one unit of my product? So if my product is juice, for manufacturing or making one glass of juice, I spend 15 rupees. All of you are with me? As a general financial rule, these two things you should always remember. It is always desirable to have variable cost over fixed cost. It is always desirable to have variable cost over fixed cost, which means month on month, if you are going to pay 25,000 rupees, irrespective of whether you make a sales or not, it is not a desirable factor. So make your fixed cost as small as possible. It is always better to have variable cost so that you can take a decision whether to have this cost or not. So it is always better to have a variable cost over fixed cost. That is rule number one. Rule number two, it is always better to have a fixed cost over startup cost. You know the difference between fixed cost over startup cost. Fixed cost is month on month cost that I spend. Startup cost is a one time cost that I spend upfront for setting up my business. Why fixed cost is better than startup cost? Because startup cost takes a bulk amount of money from your pocket prior to starting your business. Because a business is a highly uncertain process where success is not assured, you always take very cautious measure. For example, in this case, as I have already told you, I am investing 50,000 rupees for setting up my infrastructure, which is a shed, which is a one time cost. So this 50,000 rupees I have to either take from my personal financial resources or I have to borrow from somebody else. So what is the rationale behind telling minimize the capex or startup cost and convert it into a fixed cost means? As a smart entrepreneur, I would not invest this bulk amount of 50,000 rupees and spend my 50,000 rupees and dump it in a single stroke in this particular asset. Rather, I go and talk to a shed fabricator and I convince him and I'll ask him to, uh, lend a shed on rental basis or on leased basis. If am I going to take a shed from a shed owner on rental basis, then it becomes a fixed cost because monthly I have to you know spend an amount of 3,000 or 4,000 as a rental component to that particular individual rather than spending a bulk amount of 50,000 rupees. So that is what it is given here. It is always better to have, for example, for our shed, startup cost is 50,000 rupees. If I am going to convert that startup cost into a fixed cost, then it becomes a rental component where I end up in paying 2,000 rupees per month. So it is always better to convert a startup cost into a fixed cost because never invest too much of money from your pocket in the very initial stages. Play safe. That is what it means. The second one comes the green money or the revenue. Revenue is something where an entrepreneur gets in return to the product or services that he is selling in the business in terms of income. Okay, it is usually acquired in the form of selling the goods and services to customers. And as an entrepreneur, your only objective should be to boost this revenue as large as possible by expanding your goods and services sales. What is a revenue stream? Revenue, revenue stream. Revenue is nothing but the money that you get as an income to your business. Revenue stream means what are the various ways in which that money comes to your business. Revenue stream refers to what are the various ways in which your business get that particular revenue. Revenue stream is categorized into two. One is a primary revenue stream. The other one is a secondary revenue stream. What is a primary revenue stream? What is the major source of revenue for your business? Which particular revenue stream contribute for major chunk of revenue for your business? Who is contributing for the major financial returns for your business? That is the primary revenue stream. For example, if I run a business, uh, 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 if I run a juice center business, the individuals who are directly coming to my shop directly for taking the juice are the primary revenue stream for me. They are nothing but the direct sales. What is direct sales? The number of individuals who are directly visiting my outlet to take my juice is the direct sales. So that is my primary revenue stream. Why that is my primary revenue stream? Because those candidates are the major contributor for my revenue. Apart from that, I also have secondary revenue stream. What is secondary revenue stream means? Apart from this direct sales, what are the other ways in which I can increase my revenue? As an entrepreneur, you should always try to increase the other sources of revenue because you should never depend on a single revenue stream. See as many revenue streams as possible so that you get increased revenue at the end of the day. So our objective is to boost up this revenue, which means we have to increase the number of revenue streams, the number of ways in which we get that money. So one possible revenue stream is door delivery. So I have a phone in my juice center. If somebody calls, I take that juice and then I dispatch it and get the money from them. Door delivery is another possible way in which I can have that is another revenue stream. Third party food delivery apps like Swiggy, Zomato, through those kind of third party food delivery apps, again I can sell my juice to the customers. That is another revenue stream. I can put temporary stalls during events. For example, if there is a convocation going on in your college, or some kind of a symposium going on in departments, or some kind of a college day function happening, or some kind of a marriage events happening in the nearby places, I put a temporary stall and then I run that business for one day and then increase my sales. This is another revenue stream. You can try and think of lot of revenue streams. Whatever is contributing for the income for your business is considered as a revenue stream. So as an entrepreneur, you have to increase the number of ways in which you can increase that. I'm just putting only these three here. There can be any number of revenue streams that you can think over. For example, since I'm anyway setting up an outlet, a small shop there, I can use that particular shop for collecting courier materials. I can act as a courier agent also. I can have a tie up with professional couriers, so I can collect all the couriers in that particular office and then hand over that courier parcel to the professional. So I can act as a collection agent for courier. So that is considered as another secondary revenue. So in what are the ways in which my business can earn money is considered as secondary revenue. But the difference between primary revenue stream and the secondary revenue stream is primary revenue stream is the major chunk of contributor for my revenue, whereas these are all the secondary ways of getting money. So that is what this diagram gives you. Primary revenue means in this particular diagram, if you see, the direct sales are, this is for 100 cups. For every 100 cups of juice that I sell, 75 cups is coming from direct sales. 12 cups is coming from door delivery. Third party app is contributing for 5 cups. And event stalls, through event stalls, I am selling 8 cups. This is for every 100 cup. So for every 100 cups that I sell, 75 cups is contributed by direct sales, which means he is my primary revenue stream. Rest of the fellows come under secondary. Do you understand who is the primary and who is the secondary? A primary revenue stream is one which actually contributes for majority of my revenue for my business. Secondary, rest of the things are secondary. And one important factor that you have to consider here is not all revenue streams are profitable. For example, if you decide that I want to sell juice, a portable juice center by renting a truck and employing few employees, and then I wanted to take this truck and consider this as a mobile or a portable kind of a juice center. Whether this particular revenue stream will work out for you or not is what is something that you have to analyze. This is also considered to be another revenue stream because I am making my mobile juice center in such a way that it can cater to juices to the nearby places instead of physically locating my outlet in one particular place. So this is also a revenue stream. But whether it is profitable is something that you have to understand. If it is not profitable, then there is no point in taking up that. So that is something that you have to understand. That is the reason why I am putting this statement. Not all revenue streams are profitable. There can be n number of revenue streams, but not all of them are profitable. Only those things which are profitable we have to take into account. Next one comes profit and loss calculations. Profit and loss calculations will help you to figure out how well your business is performing. So first one comes profit per unit. So I hope you remember our math that we did already. The total fixed cost for us is 25,000 rupees. The total money that we invested is 80,000 rupees as a startup cost. And fixed cost month on month is 25,000 rupees. And the variable cost for 1 cup is 15 rupees. So this is the calculations. What is the profit per unit? For 1 cup of juice, what is the profit? So what is the profit? For 1 cup of juice, what is the profit? What is the unit selling price? What is the unit selling price of a cup of juice minus of variable cost? Let us say we are selling the juice for 30 rupees, for example. 30 rupees I am selling for 1 cup of juice. The variable cost is, what is the cost that I incur for manufacturing 1 cup of juice is 15 rupees. Therefore, for 1 cup of juice, I am making a profit of 15 rupees. This is called profit per unit. For 1 unit of juice, I am making a profit of 15 rupees. Okay, the other name for profit per unit is also called contribution. What is the unit contribution for your profit? So the selling price of 1 cup of juice minus of what is the manufacturing cost of 1 cup of juice. I am selling it at 30 rupees. I am manufacturing that at 15 rupees. So 30 minus of 15, 15 rupees is my profit per cup. So that is the first thing that you have to understand. Second thing, total revenue. Total revenue is normally calculated for 1 month. For calculating total revenue, you have to calculate total number of cups sold per month. In 1 month, how many number of cups that I sell? That is equal to total number of days into working days into number of cups sold per day. Since this is a summer, I am keeping the juice center open for all the 30 days. So I am considering all 30 days as working days for me. 30 into I am able to sell 200 cups per day, let us say. In a day, I am able to sell 200 cups and I am having 30 working days. So totally in a month, I am able to sell 6,000 cups. So that is the total cups sold in 1 month. And what is the total revenue? Total revenue is equal to total number of cups sold into total cups sold into what is the selling price of 1 cup. I am selling 6,000 cups. Selling price of 1 cup is 30 rupees. So I end up in making a total sales of 1,80,000 rupees. This is the total revenue for me. Total revenue is nothing but what is the amount that I make for 1 full month. The amount that I make on 1 full month is equal to the total number of units that I sell for 1 full month into what is the selling price of 1 cup. The total number of cups that I sell for 1 full month is equal to the total number of cups that I sell for 1 day into the number of business days. So it is 6,000 into selling price for 1 cup is 30. So I totally get 1,80,000 rupees. Third one, what is your gross profit? Gross profit is nothing but total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue for us is 1,80,000 rupees minus total cost. In this case is a combination of fixed cost plus variable cost. Okay. So total revenue is 1,80,000 minus of fixed cost is month on month I am paying a amount of 25,000 rupees from my pocket. Variable cost is 15 rupees for 1 unit. I am spending 6,000 units per 1 month. Variable cost is the manufacturing cost for 1 unit. and I am making 6,000 cups for 1 month. So 15 into 6,000 rupees. So what is the total cost here? Total cost is 15 into 6,000 is 90,000 plus 25,000 is 1,15,000. So 1,80,000 minus of 1,15,000. 1,15,000 is my total cost. 1,80,000 is my total revenue. So I end up in getting a profit of 65,000 rupees. So 65,000 rupees is my gross profit for 1 month. So gross profit is a difference of revenue minus of cost. Fourth one is OPEX break even. What is break even means? Break even means how many number of cups that I have to sell in order to recover my fixed cost. Number of cups to be sold in order to recover our fixed cost. In our case, we are having a fixed cost of 25,000 rupees per month. Okay. How many number of cups we have to sell in order to recover this fixed cost? This is equal to 25,000 rupees divided by what is the profit that we make in 1 cup. We are selling the cup for 30 rupees. I am manufacturing at 15 rupees. So the unit profit for 1 cup is 30 minus of 15 is 15. So 25,000 divided by, I make a profit of 15 rupees in 1 cup. So 25,000 rupees divided by 15 will give me 1666. I have to sell 1,666 cups minimum in order to recover this 25,000 rupees. What is this 25,000 rupees? 25,000 rupees is the total money that I have to spend irrespective of whether I make a sales or not. That is called fixed cost. So at the beginning of the month, so you should always bear in mind that this is my target, because in order to recover my 25,000 rupees, I have to make a sales of at least this 1,666 cups in order to recover that 25,000 rupees. So what is the number of cups that I have to sell in that particular month in order to recover my fixed cost of 25,000 rupees is the OPEX break even. That is given by fixed cost divided by what is the unit contribution or what is the profit that we make for 1 cup. So that is 25,000 rupees divided by selling price of 1 cup, manufacturing cost of 1 cup. So 25,000 divided by 15, that gives me 1666 cups. What this 1666 tells you? In order to recover my fixed cost, I have to at least sell this many number of cups in that month. Anything above than this becomes a profit for me. So that is called OPEX break even. Fifth one is CAPEX break even or payback period. So if I make certain amount of profit for month, what is the amount of profit that we made for 1 month? The amount of profit that we made for 1 month is 65,000 rupees. So if I am able to make a profit of 65,000 rupees for 1 month, in how many number of years I am able to recover the capex amount? Capex is the startup cost. What is the total cost that we invested prior to starting the business? The total cost that we invested prior to starting the business is 80,000 rupees. 80,000 rupees is the amount that I invested in setting up the business. The profit that I make for 1 month is 65,000 rupees. So in how many months I will recover that? So startup cost divided by gross profit. Startup cost is 80,000 rupees. Gross profit is 65,000 rupees. 80,000 divided by 65,000 rupees is giving me 1.23 months. What does it mean? My business is breaking even in 1.23 months. This is a great business. No business in the world can do this much amount of performance. Normally, business will have 2 to 3 years of break-even period, or at least a year of break-even period to achieve your startup cost. If your business is able to achieve capex break-even in 1 month, then that is a highly performing business. But what we have done is a simple theoretical calculations. In practical scenarios, it will take quite a long time. Typically ranging between 12 to 24 months, depending upon what is the magnitude of profit that you make. But 1.23 months break even period or a payback period is a highly theoretical number. Payback period means what? In terms of number of months, how many months it will take for me to recover my capex or startup cost. Okay. So this is regarding profit and loss calculations. Next comes the pricing. Pricing means what is the amount of price that I fix for my product and service. Okay, as a business venture, it is necessary that you have to fix a proper price for your product. What is the mechanism that you follow in order to fix a price for my product or a service? If the price is too high, your customers will not buy. That is the first danger. If the price is too low, you will end up in loss because you will not even recover your variable cost. So in either case, it is a danger. So you have to take two things into account. You have to make sure that your customers are happy. At the same time, you are also able to make some amount of profit. So you have to make a judicious amount of pricing strategy. So we know very well that profit is a difference between total revenue minus fixed and variable cost. This is my total cost. So if I am going to draw a bar like this, there are two arrows. The first arrow is my variable cost plus what is the fraction of the money that is available in the fixed cost. So I cannot, take my price below this particular point. The moment I take this price below this particular point, I may end up in loss. So this is the bare minimal price that I have to keep here. The other side, upper side, is a judicious thing that you do based on experience and a lot of mathematical calculations. One thing that people predominantly use is what is the buying power of your customer. So you have to fix a price slightly less than that, somewhere between these two ranges. Okay, so for fixing your price, it is essential that you understand your customer segment first. Who is your customer segment? Whether it is a premium customer segment you are targeting, or a middle class customer segment you are targeting. Who is your customer segment? What is your customer's willingness to pay? How much? What is the customer's perception of how much amount of money that I can pay for this particular product? Makes a huge difference. So accordingly, you have to adapt a pricing strategy. So there are three different pricing strategy that are normally adopted in business. One is maximization. The other one is market penetration. The third one is market skimming. Maximization is a pricing strategy where a company determines price level that generates maximum amount of profit in the product. So maximizing my profit is my motto, is maximization technique. Okay. So for example, you take Starbucks. Starbucks is a very good example of maximization pricing technique where its highly popular coffees are priced at a premium price to make maximum profits. Are you able to understand? So maximization is a pricing technique where the company fix a price level that generates maximum or most profit. That is the first technique. Second technique is market penetration. Market penetration means a particular company offers a very low price in order to get a dominant market share. So they sell the product at a very minimal price to get a dominant market share initially is called market penetration. The best example that one can give is Jio. Reliance Jio, they offered their telecom services at a dead cheaper price, uh, or to some extent at no cost initially, and then uh, in order to get a maximum amount of market penetration and win dominant market share, they do that. This is called market penetration. Third one is called market skimming. Market skimming is a technology, is a pricing strategy that is normally adopted for high tech and low availability goods. The best example that one can give is Apple phones. Market skimming means initially the company will fix a high cost for a particular product, and as time progresses, they will address a very broad customer base by bringing the cost down. So if you see Apple phones, initially at the time of launch, they will be pretty high, and as time progresses, they will bring down the cost of that particular product in order to cater the needs of a wider customer base. So that is called market skimming. In maximization pricing technique, the cost is kept high in order to maximize the profit. In market penetration, the pricing is kept low in order to penetrate the market. In market skimming, initially it is high, and as time progresses, they make it low. So these are the three widely used pricing strategy in the market. Checking your profitability means what? What are the important terms that we have to make use of in order to consider whether my product is profitable or not? One is gross profit. Gross profit is a difference of the total revenue minus of the total cost, which is a summation of fixed cost and variable cost. Second one is OPEX break even. OPEX break even is the number of units that I have to sell in order to recover my fixed cost. So this is defined as the fixed cost divided by the difference of what is the contribution from one particular unit of my product, which is nothing but selling price of one unit or unit selling price minus of variable cost, or what is the profit that you make for one cup. That will give you the number of cups that I have to sell in 1 month in order to recover my fixed cost. Second one is payback period or capex break even. In how many number of months I will be able to recover my capital expenditure or the startup cost. That is equal to startup cost divided by what is the gross profit that I make. The fourth one that is missing here is how much amount of profit that I make for one particular unit, or what is the contribution. Contribution from one unit is equal to unit selling price minus of variable cost. For our case, the unit selling price is 30 rupees and selling price is 15 rupees. So I make a contribution of 15 rupees per cup. What is the profit I make in one unit is contribution. Okay. Last but not the least is bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is a small technique that entrepreneurs adopt in order to finance their business. See, if I'm going to run my juice center, there are two options. Either I make use of my personal finance, or I go and borrow money from somebody. These are the two options. By efficient, business techniques, one can always, bootstrap certain amount of money from their personal finance source, and as far as possible, you try borrowing money from somebody to run your business. So bootstrapping is a technique where you use your personal financing resources in order to kickstart and run your business. Probably on the longer run, in order to scale up your business, you may have to source funds from various sources. That is fine, but for kickstarting and running your business, never go for borrowing and get into financial trouble at the initial stages. So bootstrapping is a technique wherein an entrepreneur uses his own personal financial resources through known circle like family, friends, and personal finance, assets like fixed deposits, the amount that you have invested in stock markets, or if necessary, you can even dispose of a small, unused property. So these kind of ways, you just bootstrap your personal finances and then kickstart and run your business instead of taking a loan and putting yourself into financial trouble later on. So this is with regard to uh, the money part that we needed to discuss today. So I stop here.